How is the coronavirus and the current situation affecting your business, and what kind of measures have you put in place?
Yeah, so for us personally, I mean, it was probably the most stressful couple of weeks I've ever experienced. And I think, speaking from the family's perspective, I know Dad and Mum, they've never experienced anything quite like this before either. And on top of that, my wife's a nurse as well, so she's kind of very much on the front line working. So there's an added element of pressure there because of that, you know, worrying about her in this situation as well. But from our team's perspective, they've all been absolutely amazing, and they've really supported us a lot. I know we were all quite emotional actually the day before we closed, and on the final day we had a really kind of emotional team meeting where everybody was so supportive. Lots of sort of tears with the fact that we closed, but also they've all been really kind of positive about when we get back, and hopefully working together as a team stronger than ever before to get back to whatever the new sort of normal is after this, really, and whatever all our businesses kind of sort of going to be faced with. Exactly.
Funnily enough, actually, Rob, we posted a story today encouraging hair salons to donate any personal protective equipment to nearby hospitals, anything like that. So I don't know if your wife has any suggestions, but
and do you know what's great as well about this in the industry at the moment? I know Weller have been doing some amazing stuff, donating gloves and products, as have a lot of the other manufacturers as well. But also other hairdressers out there as well who are wanting to do things to support people who are working on the front line and key workers, and offering so many great ideas to them. And I think as a hairdressing industry, it'll be great to see how we can all fulfill those ideas and promises. And I know we've got something lined up ourselves at Russell Eaton that we're going to launch over the next couple of days to help sort of support people in the NHS, inspired by my wife as well. So
brilliant. Well, do share that with us, because we've now started this article which we'll keep adding to, of all the different things that salons are doing, and it will inspire others to get involved with that as well. Brilliant. And I guess how are you spending your time at the moment? I mean, that's quite useful for people to know, isn't it?
Yeah, so do you know what? The first few days, obviously I was frantically kind of working on what was happening from the financial perspective, and also looking at what we were going to do to keep our team motivated. But I've actually just enjoyed having a few days just kind of stepping back from everything, and I've not had a day off. I've not had as long as this off in years and years.
No, I bet.
So it's been really nice spending some time with my family, with my daughter Pearl. And I'm just going to say, I apologise if she runs in or screams or anything. She's hopefully watching her iPad in the other room, so I think she should stay quiet.
We'd all love to see her. If she's in the room, you can kind of switch the phone around so we can say hello to Pearl as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And are you staying in touch with your team during this time as well?
Yeah, so one of the things we try to do is, I mean, we've from our perspective, being a family business as well, the kind of personal touches we can give both our clients and our team members are really important. So the first thing we did is we've called all of our clients personally, so either myself or somebody from the family or a member of the reception team that have really kind of tried to just speak to all our clients that had appointments booked in, either reschedule them or just say we're going to get back in touch when we know what's going on a bit more with regards to when we get back. With the team, they've been absolutely brilliant. So we've all got the house party app. We've spoken on that a little bit. I keep trying to speak to one of them at least every day, so I'm kind of keeping in touch as best we can. I know Daniel, who's our head of colouring leads, he's done some training with the assistants, and yeah, we're just trying our best to kind of stay motivated as best we can. We've got a WhatsApp group set up for both salons, so there's lots of banter and funny sort of chat going on in a couple of those as well. So.
Pictures and things as well, I bet.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And what advice or what are you encouraging your team to do during this time?
So I think for me, what's important with this is first of all, we kind of just take a bit of a break, and also not get so wrapped up that we've got to try and do everything straight away. I mean, we might be in this situation for a few weeks. None of us really know that for definite yet. I mean, one of the key things I've said is to try and keep themselves motivated. Look at some of the great education that's out there from manufacturers and a lot of things that are on Instagram. I know from a Weller perspective, working with them very closely, there's a lot of great educational content that they're pushing out as well. So it's really trying to just keep motivated, but also thinking about things that they don't know how to do at the moment. So if they're feeling weak on a certain area, use this time to really kind of strengthen those areas as well. I know I'm certainly doing the same thing. I've ordered a sort of mannequin head, so I'm going to be practicing different things when I get a chance as well. So yeah, that's one of the things. And the thing is, you never stop learning with hairdressing. There's always something that you can perfect your skills on more and improve on. So that's kind of our goal and what I hope the team are doing as well as having a well-deserved rest as well after all.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got to do that as well, haven't you? What's the delivery time in your mannequin head?
Do you know what? It actually arrived before it started. So before this, we finished at work. So I was kind of prepped for it a little bit. But I've got it out, and I know that I'll start to do some things on it at some point. So we might do some more Insta Live videos with some techniques and things at some point.
Oh, we'd love to do that. I mean, obviously, we've done this virtual week this week where we've had 3 sessions a day. But the aim is to keep doing these and maybe do 1 a day. So yeah. Once you've got to grips with your new mannequin head, let us know. And we can do some more sessions with you on that as well.
Yeah.
You actually touched on earlier when we were chatting, you spoke about the virtual consultations that you've been doing with clients.
Yes.
Can you tell people a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so one of the things that we thought as this has progressed is a great way of keeping in touch with clients is to obviously keep communicating with them. So even if it's not just about the appointment that they've got booked in, or had booked in, we thought we'll try to do some virtual consultations and really touch on ways of staying in touch with people. So because I'm actually a trichologist as well as a hairdresser, I'm actually doing some trichology appointments as well that I can actually do via WhatsApp calls or just kind of communicating and going through a consultation in exactly the same way as I would do normally. But what made me think about how this would relate to hairdressing consultations is that we are going to be faced with all sorts of different hair colour disasters or haircut disasters when we get back into the salon. And I think it's actually quite a nice way of still communicating with our clients and actually saying, look, we're still here, we're here for advice, we can help you as much as we possibly can. And also don't just kind of reach for the home hair colour options. I know there's been so many different conversations about this within the industry.
Yes, yeah.
And I think really from my perspective, it's definitely about communication and just making sure that we just stay in touch with our clients and make sure that they know we're here to answer any questions that they have.
Definitely. And obviously this is an Ask Me Anything session and I don't want to be the only one asking all the questions. So if anyone wants to jump in with any questions for Rob while we've got him, please do comment with your questions. And no, we'd love to see.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what questions I'm going to get asked here.
Exactly. And also, I mean, obviously you are currently HJ's British Hairdresser of the Year, which is fantastic.
Yes.
What motivates and inspires you to enter hairdressing awards, and how do you think that's affected your career so far?
So for me, I've always been involved in the creative side of the industry. So right from being an assistant, I used to go to lots of shows and events and watch as many different people in the industry as I possibly could. And that was one of the things that really helped me to gain experience and really network with people as well. With competitions, it was a really big part of what I wanted to do and to get involved within the industry. I think at that particular time, it was before, when I first started entering competitions, it was before social media, and it was the way to kind of get yourself out there, known within the industry with other hairdressers, but also with trade magazines and also to kind of create work that hopefully was inspiring for other hairdressers. With the BHAs, I've always entered that. So I won Northeastern Hairdresser of the Year for the first time in 2003, and then I've kind of entered on and off over the years ever since, really. And I think it's been definitely a journey to get to the stage where I'm at now. And so first of all, to have been nominated last year was an incredible experience, but then to win was, you can probably tell by my reaction last night, I was so kind of shocked that happened the first year, and but it was an amazing experience that I'll always remember.
Fantastic. And you could tell in the room that night that, you know, everyone does love you and you are a very well respected figure within the industry. We had a question from our very own Akeisha Reid, actually, the digital editor at HJ. She said, what advice would you give to someone who wants to enter the British Hairdressing Awards for the first time this year? And obviously bearing in mind the fact that there is a lot of time at home at the moment, but maybe you might want to do something on a smaller budget. I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think my advice to anybody wanting to enter a competition, but particularly the BHAs, is to really plan and think about why you're doing it and what you want to get from it. So are you doing it just to enter the competition, or are you doing it to get great visuals for your website or for your salon window or for your Instagram profile? So I think just really think about that first before you sort of decide on the actual concept itself. One of the things I always do is I've got a kind of folder on my laptop, and I just constantly save ideas throughout the year that I might have seen, and that can be all sorts of different things. It could be a music influence, it could be something from fashion, it could be something from a hairdressing icon that I might respect, or just anything that kind of inspires me to pull things together. And I very much try and work on a concept and an idea. So If it's about colour, it's looking at colours that work well together within that concept. And then it kind of really helps me to get a clear message to then present to the other people in the team that are working on it. So it may well be that you have a makeup artist, obviously a photographer, if you're looking to have a clothes stylist as well. So it just gets that message out there in a really strong and concise way, so you all know what you're trying to deliver as well.
So this time now is a great time to do your planning and think about your inspiration and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, certainly for me. I mean, one of the things I always try to do is set myself kind of goals, and over the last, particularly the last 10 years, you know, we opened the Leeds salon about 10 years ago, and I really focused on business for the first 5 years. The last 5 years has been very much on focusing on the creative aspects of the industry and really entering awards again, and obviously winning British Hairdresser of the Year. And then after that, you know, for now moving forward, I'm always constantly planning and thinking of ideas that I want to do with our business, with our team, and some really exciting things to sort of come for us.
Brilliant. And I think we've had a couple of other questions as well, so I'm just gonna Carl's K Hair said, you are a lot of people's inspiration in the industry, but who would you say is your personal biggest inspiration? Great question.
Yeah, do you know, actually there's so many people in the industry now that are doing such amazing work. I mean, I often say this, I mean, because I'm from a family business and I work so closely with Dad, he's been a great mentor to me over the years, and also some of the iconic hairdressers that I kind of looked up to and aspired to be like when I first started. So people like Charles Worthington, Trevor Sorby, people that have been really successful. Andrew Collins, I was lucky enough to go to their awards a few weeks ago, so it was amazing to kind of be part of their family awards event that they held as well. But now, I mean, there's so many other amazing hairdressers out there and they're doing brilliant work as well. So a lot of the session stylists that do incredible work that really filters into the things that we do in salon as well. I've seen James Earnshaw's commented there. I love the work that he does. I watched it today as well.
He's asked you a question actually. So when you finish this one, we'll take James Earnshaw's question as well.
Yeah, so there's just so many different people that probably inspired me over the years and that I would say are icons in the industry. But it has opened up so much more now, though, so that everybody now can create their own profile and really kind of push themselves out into the industry. And I actually love watching some of the younger members of our own team, some of the work that they're doing, because they've got such fresh ideas and different ways of approaching things that can really be inspiring as well.
Yeah, and I guess with Instagram, I mean, you can be inspired by anything or anyone at any moment in time, can't you?
Yeah, and the world's a smaller place now. We can communicate with hairdressers from all over the world. So it's not just about looking at UK hairdressing. There's hairdressers in Australia that are doing incredible work, American hairdressers from all over Europe. You know, there's some incredible hairdressers all over the world now that we can all communicate with as well. I was really lucky to do some work at a Weller event, a Weller destination event last year. And that was incredible to work alongside Darren Ambrose, and we created a show for people that came from all over the world to watch it. And I think that's great that there's this global hairdressing community now.
Definitely. Was that the creative retreat?
Yes. Yeah. No, it was the destination event. So sadly, the creative retreat was cancelled because of coronavirus, but hopefully we'll have something happening in September to replace that with another destination event.
Brilliant. And speaking of Weller professionals, James Earnshaw, who did a fantastic session with us yesterday on braiding and plaiting, he's asked, can you tell us a bit about your role at Weller Professionals?
Yeah.
And how you fit that in with being in the salon and doing clients and doing the business side? And
it's difficult. Yes. life is really non-stop all the time. The role with Weller has developed over a number of years. So we've worked together for quite a long, about 6-7 years now, and prior to that, I actually trained with Weller, and I've always had some sort of relationship with them over the years. So it kind of just developed in that way. I love the role of technical director because I really get involved with so many different incentives, so many ideas to drive the colour business for Weller professionals, but ultimately for us as hairdressers in salons. And one of the things I talked about in this month's edition of Hairdresser Journal as guest editor, thank you for asking me to do that, by the way.
It's fantastic. Good job we did that beforehand, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But one of the things I put in the message, actually, in the editor's letter, was that, you know, salon-based stylists are the backbone of the industry. You know, we are the people that are looking after clients every single day. And I think sometimes we forget how important stylists that work in salons actually are for the hairdressing industry. So when we get back into salons, it's going to be so exciting to be able to see our clients again, but obviously to re-energize the hairdressing industry again.
I mean, actually, it's been fantastic, hasn't it, Rob? Because the new as when it speaks about businesses and, you know, the difficult times they're in, hairdressing businesses get mentioned a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And it shows how much that as a nation, we all really respect the hairdressing industry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, like with hairdressing salons, obviously we're a big part of the community. We see lots of different people, and we obviously make people feel better every single time that they come into the salon. You know, we make people look better, but also give them confidence as well. So it's a great part of, it's a great industry to be part of, and a job that I still love more than ever.
Definitely. Right. Well, the next question is a slightly controversial one, Rob. And it's who is this? This is Mag Satstone. Many salons are promoting that they are supplying clients with professional colour to use at home. Right. What is your take on this?
So for me, I think we've got to be really careful with the messages that we send out to clients. I think the way that I've moved forward with this is that there's been a lot of talk about home hair colour and what is the right option to do. The number one thing I think we should do is communicate with our clients. So we can't kind of shy away from the fact that some people probably will colour their hair themselves at home. They will get hold of different types of colour, whether that's professional colour or non-professional or box dyes from a supermarket. And I think that the number one thing I've been saying to all of our clients is, you know, just speak to us. Let us give you the advice. We know your hair better than anybody, so we can give you advice on the right things to use. And that might be mascaras, it might be root touch-up sprays. I know we are currently using a Colour Fresh as a product that we recommend to people because it's quite simple and easy to use, and it's not something that people can go too majorly wrong with. It's something that can give you 30% grey coverage. So that is something we'll be doing. But when it comes to actual professional hair colour itself, that's got to stay in the salon in my view. And obviously with professional hair colour, it's all about the person that's applying it. So it really is so important that we remain that we have that level of professionalism, but it is about speaking to our clients and helping them through this particular period. And there's lots of other options out there. You know, there's nothing wrong with giving hair a bit of a rest while you're not able to see anybody or do anything, and also to plan maybe a change of look as well. So what we're saying to people is it's an opportunity to grow out some of the colour. Let's see what we're working with afterwards. And I think what I'm planning to do when we get back into our salons is just have a look at the services that we talk about with our team and also with our clients. So look at grey blending services, look at this grombre trend that's been around a lot at the moment, because some people might actually embrace the idea of growing their hair out. And that doesn't necessarily mean no colour. It just means that we work with them on a journey to grow out sections of their hair, or use toners, or just be a bit more creative with the placement of colour as well.
Definitely. And actually, speaking about the services and how you might think about shaking it up, and when we were chatting earlier, you said that you were thinking about using this time to consider it as a reset of your business. Yeah, and that's a good idea. Do you want to talk people through that?
I mean, I think that's what I've sort of seen this as, to be honest with you. Other than an incredibly stressful period for us all, it is a pause in our lives. It's a chance for us just to sort of take a step back and look at what we're doing, but maybe in our personal lives, and just kind of try to relax a bit more, but also with our businesses as well. I mean, I know I talk a lot about our team, and we're really lucky to have an incredible team in both of our salons, but I really want to make sure that when we get back in our businesses, that we're ready to go, energized after having this time off, and really looking forward to looking after our clients with some new ideas for the salon. So I'm encouraging all of our team members to really give me any ideas they've got, how we can improve things when we get back. And yeah, hopefully that'll make a far better experience for everybody when we get out of this period, for however long that's going to take, or whatever that's going to be when we get back.
Definitely. And then we've got a question from Mary G. Hare saying, have you thought about your BHA collection for this year, and how much prep time would you put aside for it?
So I need to be nominated again. So if anyone wants to nominate me, I can still do that. But
a little hint there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think when planning for something like that, I've always got different ideas that I want to bring to life. I mentioned before about saving ideas. I always create kind of inspiration sheets or ideas that I want to try and bring to life in a shoot. So there are a few ideas that I've got, but I think we need to sort of see where we are when we come out of this situation, and look at that as well. My main priority at the minute is obviously our salon business and our team, but I can't wait for us all to get back to normal though as well. I mean, I think at the events, whenever these events may be, and you know, everything's being moved forward, by pretty much all manufacturers. And I know you guys have done a great job at rescheduling some of the events that you've got planned as well. I think we'll all really enjoy getting together and hopefully sharing ideas and looking at what we've created while we've been off.
There'll be huge parties when they do eventually get here, won't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're all turning into alcoholics at home. I don't know whether we're all drinking more than ever at home.
It's true, exactly. I think that's what the shops are going to run out of quite soon.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's another question. So, Janan would like to know, what are your opinions on the end point assessment now? I know you've got a few students in your salon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that there's this structure in place to ensure that we get the very best quality and the best levels and standards of education. I mean, I think for us, we do have a number of trainees, and I think what's important with them is to make sure we always sort of add to what they get as part of their education as well. So we tend to make sure we work in stages with this as well. So we really focus on perfecting and mastering certain elements of their education. So working from blow drying to certain types of haircuts, then moving on to colour work. And I think that's the most important thing. Is to make sure that we really create the very best education for our students moving forward, so that they become well equipped to deal with everything in the industry as well. Because we all know that actually the industry previously was more challenging than ever before. I think clients' expectations were mega high, and I think with social media and the way that people access information, they're always aware of a lot of things out there in the industry already at the moment. So for our young hairdressers that work for us, it's really important we equip them with all the skills to be able to look after our clients to the very best of their ability.
Definitely. And I guess another question for you. I mean, by all means, guys, do jump in with some more questions and tell us what direction you want our chat to go in, if you want it to be more creative, awards related, business related, coronavirus related. But one of my questions for you, Rob, is obviously you are the technical director at Weller Professionals, and everyone knows what an amazing colorist you are. How do you make sure you don't get put too far into a box as just being seen as a colorist, when obviously you do amazing styling and cutting and everything as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the way that I kind of progressed and worked with colour more and more, started from very early stages of my career, really, because Dad was from a Sassoon background and had to only focus in one area. And he was very keen when I did my training that I learned every element of the hairdressing industry. And I'm really grateful for that, because I feel that I can approach most situations within the hairdressing industry and most creative situations, and I can create something that I'm sort of proud of. It's particularly helpful with show work as well. So the show that I created for the Trend Vision Awards last year, called Celestial, was one that we were particularly proud of. And again, it was a great a sort of example of teamwork from us all at Russell Eaton, but the whole concept and the mix of skills that we tried to show there was not just about colour. It was about dressing hair, it was about editorial and session skills, and also techniques that I guess I've just picked up over the years as well. And working on shows and events like that, which I'm really lucky that I can do that with Weller Professionals, is actually amazing, because I can bring to life some of the visions that I've got in my head and some of these mood boards, but not just in a photographic shoot, but as a stage show as well.
Definitely. And I guess there might be some people watching at the moment that, look at what you do. It's incredible, and might not know where to start to get onto those platforms that you're currently on. What advice would you give to those people?
So with the advice I would give to anybody that wants to get involved in creative work is to watch and learn from as many different people as you can. So if you get the opportunity to go and assist somebody, I'd just grab it and take it. That I often get messages from people in the hairdressing industry, and it's great to always to hear from people, because you never know when you might need an assistant, and it's great to have that list of names that I might potentially use one day. But definitely make sure that you just connect with people as well. And again, talking about social media, there's never been a better way of connecting with hairdressers all over the world and asking them questions about how they've created some of the show work they've done or photographic work. But yeah, certainly within the Weller Professionals family, they're great at sort of nurturing and bringing forward new talent in the industry from different salons across the country. And I think that is really, really important. And a lot of other manufacturers do that as well. It's great that we've got that kind of culture within the hairdressing industry where we're constantly bringing new talent forward, and they're getting exposed to some of the things that I got exposed to when I used to assist people and learn from them when I first started in hairdressing.
Oh, fantastic. And we've had a few more questions jump in while we were chatting there. So I'm just going to, Sam B said that quite keen on chatting about the creative side of things. So we'll carry on talking about the creative side. And Sarah Dawes has said she's really enjoyed watching your career develop. Well done and congratulations on a well-deserved British Hairdresser of the Year win. So there's a compliment there for you, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you. That's fine. I'm just plugging my phone in, by the way, just before it goes flat.
Oh, yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sarah. Yeah, it's and it definitely has been a great experience and a journey in the industry as well. I mean, there's lots of things that I've loved doing and I'm really proud of, and there's things that I look back and think, God, why did I do that? You learn from the good and the negatives that you do in things as well. So
definitely. Another great question. This one's from Aston and Fincher.
Yeah.
What colour and style do you think is going to be requested most by your clients when you open again?
So this is a really interesting one, actually, because I think we're all going to be really busy. I know we're all really worried about what's happening in the industry at the moment, and I think it's going to be great to get back in our salons. I know we're all looking forward to seeing our clients. When it comes to colour work, I think we'll see lots of different things. I think people will want to get back to normal as quickly as possible. I think we'll see loads of colour corrections, and I'm quite excited to see what we're faced with when we get back into the salon, because I'm sure we'll see all sorts of different things. I think grey blending is going to be a really interesting topic as well, and we've got some really exciting things hopefully coming with regards to techniques and new formulations that we can share with you that will help with that as well, because I think people will approach the colour in a different way as well. And I talked about it being a bit of a reset for our industry. I think some clients will think of it in that way with their hair as well, and they may want to reassess what they're doing with their hair, and I think it's going to be quite exciting to work with them to obviously bring all those ideas to life.
Definitely, and obviously trends do evolve from what's happening in society as a whole, doesn't it? So, I mean, I guess what we thought were going to be the big trends for this year might evolve based on the fact everyone's been stuck indoors and might want to kind of go crazy. So do you think,
definitely.
Do you think colour trends and cuts might go in a slightly different direction because of that?
Well, I mean, long hair has been such a massive part of what all salons have been working on. I don't think some of those trends are going to change. I mean, I think that is around and is going to stay like that for quite some time. I mean, I think probably more than ever now, clients want a bespoke experience. They want something that's personalised to them. So that doesn't necessarily mean to say it has to be a huge, massive change. It can be just something that's tonally a bit different. It could be a slightly different way of styling the hair. I think the subtleties in hairstyles are what are really important for clients now as well. And I think also what we always try to do is make sure we give our clients a hair plan or a hair journey, so they know what they can experience over the year ahead, really, and give them some ideas to look forward to and more reasons to come back into salons and to experience professional hair colour.
Brilliant. We've had somebody ask, will this be safe to view later? And yes, we can confirm you will be able to watch this back again later.
Yeah.
Do you have any...
Hi, Eleanor from Leslie Francis as well. Eleanor,
oh, brilliant.
Eleanor, yes. Leslie Francis. That's actually where I did my training many years ago.
Oh,
so I want to come down to, this is based in Barnsley, so they've got a great training school there where all of our assistants are all educated still. So I'm going to come down and I'll bring the Hairdressing Award down to see you guys there as well.
Oh, brilliant. And you told me, didn't you, that you brought it home with you? You didn't leave it in the salon?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we thought we can't leave it in the lead salon just in case anybody breaks in or anything like that. So yeah, we emptied the shelves and the trophies came back with us as well. So.
No, yeah, that's not a news story I'd want to be writing, to be honest.
No, definitely not. I could be the first person that's lost the British Hairdressing Award.
Exactly, that wouldn't be good. So it's good to know it's safe with you at home.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And do you have any stories about that you can share with us about when you've been shooting for the British Hairdressing Awards? Any sort of stories where maybe a model hasn't turned up and you've had to sort of adapt what you were going to do, or a look hasn't quite gone to plan and you've then had to change it and evolve it?
There's been loads and loads and loads of different situations like that. We've had models that have overlaid and not turned up for like 3 or 4 hours, which has totally ruined the sort of flow of the shoot. I really like to be organised with everything that I do on a shoot, so I plan everything out to the pretty much the minute of what I want to try and achieve at different stages on it. So little things like that kind of really drive me mad, and it can potentially throw you if you're trying to create something on a model on a certain hair type. I think one of the things about that is that it's always important to be prepared as well. So the great thing about the awards is that you can use some wigs and hairpieces as well on a percentage of the models in the collection. So it's great that if you come along with some other wigs, then you can sometimes adapt to that situation as it's happening, and still create some really, really great looks. I mean, I've created collections in the past that have not been for the awards, but where we've used just one model and used lots of different wigs and created lots of different looks on the same model. So it is possible to still do all those things. But yeah, there's been many situations when we've had models that have either got ill or not turned up, and then you have to think and react really quickly as well.
Definitely. And I guess before we carry on, I think we'll be wrapping up quite soon, so I've just spotted the time. So if anyone's got any other questions, do jump in before we do wrap up. We can keep an eye on see.
That's a nice message from Sarah again. So many great talents came from Barnsley. Yeah, so there's Andrew Barton, Josh Wood,
yes,
Simon Shaw from all the Moody brothers as well. Stephen.
Wasn't there a hair exhibition that Andrew
Barton was? Yeah. So Andrew did an exhibition that showcased his work, but also that showcased a lot of amazing things about hairdressing through the years as well. So we were looking to create a couple of wigs for that exhibition as well. But yeah, that was great when Andrew did that, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do something like that again.
Brilliant. And out of curiosity, you said yourself that you'll be using this time to sort of increase your skill set and improve some of your techniques. What specifically do you want to hone in on during this time to improve for yourself?
So I think one of the things that I'm going to focus on is perfecting different styling and dressing techniques as well. I think it's always good to try to learn about different braiding techniques or things that maybe I've not done as much of late. So I think, and the key to those is to keep doing them over and over again and to practice and practice and practice. So watching James's video yesterday is, it's great that there's a lot of people that can share their skills in that particular area. But also it's just kind of brushing up on things that I've not looked at for a while as well. And also one thing I do think is important as well, it's not just looking into the industry for things, it's also looking outside of the industry as well. Because I think it's easy to look at lots of other hairdressers, but I think it will be great to sort of look at different fashion designers or different things where we can pull some of those ideas into our industry as well. So it's not just about hairdressing.
Definitely. We've had a few more questions just pop in right at the end there. So how do you do the creative planning for a shoot or a show?
Yeah, so if I'm planning for a creative shoot or a show, it's all about making sure you get all the right ingredients right. So for me, the team that I work with is really, really important. The last few years I've actually worked with the same team. So there's an incredible makeup artist called Lucy Flower, and I trust her so much to do whatever I show her, and she kind of brings her element of what she thinks creatively to that idea. Claire Frith is also a close stylist I work with pretty much all the time on shows and events as well, and she just kind of gets what I'm thinking with regards to working on shows and events and shoots. But it really is for me about being prepared as well. So it's not just about the creative ideas, it's making sure that you know what all the models are coming at a certain time, you know what's happening, and you know what you want to get out of the looks at the end as well. So it may well be that you just want to get 8 looks, or you might want to get 10 looks or 12 looks, and it's just that time span.
Definitely.
So yeah, I hope that answered that okay.
No, it definitely. And is there anyone in the industry who you'd love to collaborate with?
There is actually, and I'm talking to quite a few people this year about different collaborations that I can't really talk about at the moment, but there was certain things that I've got planned. So I'm hoping.
You sound like a rock star there. It's like,
yeah, I'm not going to say too much about what they are because there's quite a lot of things that I was quite excited about. So hopefully we'll be able to pick these things up.
Brilliant. So it's a kind of a watch this space kind of situation.
Yeah, watch this space about that. One thing that I am getting more and more involved in, and I have been over recent years, is the Fellowship of British Hairdressing as well. So if anybody gets a chance to visit their website, there's something called The Knowledge, which is actually a great platform for education as well. And there's actually the behind the scenes show behind the scenes of the show we created called Celestial at Weller Trend Vision last year as well. So if anybody gets a chance to watch that, and the Fellowship are always about collaborating with different people as well. So
definitely.
Actually, there's one of my clients that's just on this chat as well called Kelly. She's got, I thought somebody might message desperate for a haircut in.
Oh, brilliant. There you go.
Hi,
So
Kelly.
advice for short styles. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, yeah. Kelly's a perfect example of somebody that has actually embraced her natural hair colour and grown out her hair to an amazing grey-white colour. So, and she looks incredible with it as well. So you'll have to post some pictures on here for me, Kelly, afterwards.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. All love to see, I'm sure. Okay. And then someone said, what is the average cost of doing a shoot?
So this is a difficult one. You can spend obviously quite a lot of money, and I think one of the things I would say with when planning a shoot is to think about the costing of it as well, and think about what you want to get out of it too. Because if you are investing a lot of money, it's not you shouldn't just be doing it for sort of ego reasons or just to try and promote yourself. It should be other things as well. You should be able to promote your salon. It might be about developing your brand, whether that's your own personal brand or whether it's your salon as well. So I'm just looking at one of these comments as they're coming through. So yeah, it's all very much about making sure that you invest the right amount of money in it, but also don't get carried away and spend so much money that you don't feel the value in it afterwards as well. You've got to make sure it's relevant for what you want to spend and what you want to get out of it. For me, models are a huge part of it. They bring to life the styles that you're going to be working on and creating as well. So really invest money in some great models, and there's some amazing models out there as well. And also practice what you're doing a lot as well. Practice on mannequin heads. Practice the ideas that you've got to bring them to life, and you'll definitely get the best results.
Fantastic. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap up shortly.
No, thank you.
We are running
Anyway.
out of time. But I think everyone would agree that was fantastic. We've had a really good chat, and we've got through lots of people's questions.
Yeah. And my daughter Pearl's not coming screaming yet. I was expecting to
we
either get a little hand come into the screen or
she was welcome to join in. You could have done some demoing on her hair maybe.
That might be the next thing. That might be the next thing we do.
Why not? Yeah, exactly. And you'll have your mannequin head as well, so we can get you in sessions to play with the mannequin head. Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed it, and thanks so much again, Rob. And
my pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe, everybody. Look after yourselves, and I'll look forward to seeing you all at an event in the industry soon, hopefully.
Definitely. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.